Hello and welcome to Baseball News and Views. My name is Mark. Today I'm coming at you with three future picks I like a lot for the 2023 MLB season. Great time of year right now. World Baseball Classic's going on. Spring training is also going on. A lot of baseball in the air. It's very exciting. I'm very excited. I've been looking at these lines a lot on Caesars, DraftKings, FanDuel, looking at all the books, and I feel like these are three lines I really, really like a lot. So let's talk about them right now. Our first bet today we're going to be looking at is going to be the Philadelphia Phillies. Right now, their win total on Caesars Sportsbook is sitting at 89.5. I am taking the under there. I see this Phillies team as a low to mid 80s win team, not 90 plus whatsoever. I feel like they gained a lot of helium momentum like amongst the community based off their playoff run from last year, where they eventually lost to the Astros in the World Series. But I don't think this team is that good. I feel like they got really, really hot at a really great time last year. Of course, into October, where they kind of went through a bunch of teams better than them to kind of get to the World Series, where eventually losing to the Astros. But I just don't see it. We'll start here with the Bryce Harper situation. Bryce Harper is their best player. He's out at least 2 months, probably more. We don't know the exact timetable right now coming back from that surgery. But when your best player is missing probably half the season, I can't sit there and be like, yes, that team's going to win 90 games. I don't know how you can feel confident about that whatsoever. The whole team in general, I feel like is very top heavy. They have star power, but they have poor depth. And I feel like depth is the key to get you through a baseball season, truthfully. We'll talk about the pitching first. Going into the rotation, they have two great starting pitchers in Aaron Nola and Zach Wheeler. After that, you look at the likes of Taijuan Walker, Ranger Suarez, Bailey Feltner. With not a whole lot of depth behind those guys, I don't see it. I don't see those three guys I previously said being 60% of a 90-win rotation. I just don't see it. And of course, you look at their bullpen as well. It's very shaky. They have some guys who get outs, who throw hard. They also walk a lot of guys, have poor advanced numbers. Looking at Soto, Kimbrel. I think Seranthony Dominguez is very good. After him, Alvarado. Like I said, these guys throw very hard. They walk the ballpark, and it's just not really a formula for consistency or success in the MLB. I feel like the whole pitching staff is messy. I don't like it with the exception of Zach Wheeler, Aaron Nola, and Seranthony Dominguez. Looking at this team's lineup now, definitely the strength of the Phillies, but even the Phillies lineup, it's interesting. They have a lot of mashers on this team. They brought in Trey Turner, exceptional signing, great shortstop. But after that, in terms of like great hitters, I don't really see any great hitters. I see a lot of power hitters, but not guys that put the ball in play. Looking at Alec Boehm, he might hit like 270-ish, probably a little bit lower, but he has a really high ground ball rate. If he learns to elevate the ball, which he definitely could, he's still young, that could definitely change the way I look at him. But he's kind of in. He's a really poor defender at third. The second base situation is pretty fluid. They have a few different guys. They have Scott Kingery. They have a few other guys that they're kind of trying out for the job. First base, Rhys Hoskins, big masher. He'll hit 30 home runs. He'll hit 230. He'll strike out a bunch. He'll play terrible defense at first. Look at Real Muto, very, very solid. Of course, Real Muto is kind of getting up there in age, going into his mid-30s now, lower to mid-30s. And I feel like that's definitely always concerning for a catcher to get to that age. I don't want to sit here and be like, he's definitely going to fall off this year, but I'm also a little bit concerned as like an overall. So the infield is interesting, like I said. You look at the outfield now. Kyle Schwarber's a very, very good player. I like Kyle Schwarber a lot. He's going to hit 40 home runs. He'll probably have a nice uptick in batting average with the shift being banned. But still, like I feel like Kyle Schwarber's your second best hitter after Trey Turner here, which is fine. You have Nick Castellanos and Wright, who needs a real bounce back. I'm not sure if we know what Nick Castellanos is right now. He was really, really good. They brought him in on a 5-year deal. He was awful in year one of that deal. He's a very poor defender in right field as well. And then you have Brandon Marsh in center field, who is a really good fielder, but he can't really hit too well. So you're looking at that combination of players there who either play really poor defense or only hit home runs, which is kind of how this Phillies team is constructed. So after like an overhaul view of this team, I just keep seeing mediocre. I feel like they excel at some things. They're very poor at others. Really bad defense. They're going to hit home runs. The pitching is interesting. Maybe I'm off on the bullpen, but I'm just looking at the team as a whole, and I don't see it. In my opinion, the way this is going to shape up, they're going to be around 500 most of the year. They'll eventually get Bryce Harper back. They'll go on a run when they get Bryce back, but they're not going to reach that 90-win total. I'm taking the under at 89.5. Our second bet today, I'm looking at the Pittsburgh Pirates shortstop O'Neal Cruz on DraftKings right now. His home run total is set at 22.5. I'm going to hammer that over. I really like O'Neal Cruz. I think he's a very polarizing player. I feel like some people think he's going to be exceptional. Some people are very concerned about him long term. For me, though, I'm all in. He's 6'7". He hits the ball harder than anyone's ever hit the ball before in the StatCast era, which has been going on since 2015. And I just think he does so many things well. Of course, he has big problems in his game that people are concerned about. But when you hit the ball that hard, that consistently, I feel like you're going to overcome some of the shortcomings. I feel like he is similar to Aaron Judge in that respect, where Judge has continuously cut on his K rate, which I think O'Neal Cruz has the potential to do. Right now, last year, his K rate was 35%. That's too high. If we can get that down to around 30% or high 20s, I think he's going to absolutely crush this number and be an all-star player, if I'm being honest. It's 22.5 right now. He had 17 in 330 at-bats last year. You can't really multiply that and be like, oh, he hit 17 and 330. Well, multiply that by 2, and that's not how baseball works. But of course, for me personally, I think he's going to hammer this number. I think he's looking at 30 plus home runs. The world where he doesn't, like I said, he's very polarizing. This can go one of two ways. One, in my opinion, he's going to hammer this number and hit 30 plus. The other way is he doesn't make those strides to cut his strikeout rate, and he's looking at being in the minor leagues in like June or July because he's hitting 150. But like I said, I'm betting on the talent here. I think O'Neal Cruz is an exceptionally talented player, and I'm very, very excited for his whole career. Hopefully, he kind of brings the Pirates back to some relevancy here. The Pirates are a cool team that's kind of always poor because they don't really invest in the team. But I like O'Neal Cruz a lot. I'm taking his over at 22.5 home runs. Our third and final bet today, also on DraftKings, also a home run prop. This is going to be a little bit controversial. I know some people are going to be like, I don't like this at all. I'm looking at Fernando Tatis Jr. His over-under right now is sitting at 34.5. I'm going to take the under. Like I said, I know it's going to be controversial. Everyone loves Tatis. I love Tatis. I think he's super cool. But to say he's going to hit 35 home runs coming back from a shoulder surgery, a wrist surgery, a PED suspension, and 3-week suspension before the season even starts, I just can't get there. When you think about it logically, he could hit 34 home runs this season in 5 months, and this could still hit. So I feel like I'm not saying like, oh, he's bad. He's great. I love Tatis. You're also baking in here, if you take the over on this number, that he's not going to have any type of injuries, any type of small nagging injuries throughout the season. Of course, playing a new position as well, playing the outfield. He played a little bit of outfield before he got hurt, but he doesn't really play the outfield. So he's learning a new position kind of on the fly, which there's a lot of injury risk to that. And if he runs into the wall, he can miss a few games. So if he does, there's just so many aspects where this can go wrong, where I feel really confident taking under 35 home runs for Tatis. Like I said, this is one of those things where if he hits 45 home runs in 5 months, I'm going to tip the cap. Fernando Tatis is exceptional. He's one of the best young players in the game today, but I think so much can go wrong for this bet that I love taking the under here at 35 home runs. Like I said, he can hit 34 home runs in 5 months and I win. I love that for me. So I'm taking the under Fernando Tatis on 34.5 home runs. Those were the 3 bets I really liked in the MLB season. I placed these bets already. I'm very confident in them. I'm definitely going to come back at you with more predictions coming up, probably more bets as well. But for right now, I want to get these 3 future bets out before the lines change because I feel like they're all really great values. So that's it for me. Thanks for watching Baseball News and Views. I really appreciate it.